Hi my creative friends, it's Finnabair here from my studio, and today I want to introduce you to the new very exciting products. These are Art Alchemy Matte Waxes. Absolutely new thing, something that we are introducing on the market, and I want to show you what kind of beautiful effects you can get with this antiquing opaque cousins of the metallic wax. You can use them together with gesso or a little bit of sprays or paints. You can use them with metallic paint, or you can use them with tissue papers. You can just let your imagination flow. And I hope after the presentation you are going to be as excited as I am. I just want to show you 6 colors of Art Alchemy Matte Waxes. Please join me. So here they are 6 colors of Art Alchemy Matte Waxes. They are antiquing opaque products which are permanent after drying, and they are very similar in the base to our metallic waxes. So the consistency, the concept of the product is the same, but the finish is completely different. We've got shiny and very metallic looking waxes, and then we've got opalescent waxes. These are flat, plain, no shimmer at all. So these colors, as you can see them, they are all inspired by the colors of patina, natural dirt, or soot or charcoal, and then colors of rust. They are some kind of a cross between the colors I made for patina paste sets or rust based sets. I wanted to create similar finish, but without the texture and with the possibilities and advantages of the wax. So something that hopefully will make people really happy, and the look is going to be different. So let me show you the colors on the samples. I started coloring here. You can see I'm using one of my Art Basics brushes. So the first color is Rusty Brown, and I'm just adding that on the top of the element I made in my mold. I covered this with clear wax, so clear gesso, so this is going to be nice matte finish. It was resin before, so resins, they are very slippery. That's why it is much better to paint on them or wax them if they are having coat of gesso on the top. Now Rusty Red, you can see the colors, just don't compare brown and red. And you can see they're completely flat. Then Charcoal Black, the color which is almost like graphite with a little bit of blue in it, maybe. You can see on my black matte it is more grayish graphite, right? So it's still going to be visible if you're going to put it on the black gesso. Charcoal Black. Then we've got Patina Blue, the color which is inspired by the aged copper or brass. Oh, sorry. I put too much. Finally, Patina Green. And then white, and I'm afraid white is not going to be very visible, but I hope you're going to see at least a bit of it. You can see, because I used the resin, which is a little bit yellowish, so even now when I'm applying this white, it's not very visible, but you can see this is easy. So once you use the brushes, of course, there will be questions how to clean them after. It's just with like any other wax, you need to use hot water and some kind of detergent such as dishwashing liquid or soap or shampoo. This is going to work. These are going to dry permanent, but before they will dry, you still have a little bit of the working time, And you can try to remove a little bit of that color to get kind of interesting effects. You can see I'm wiping that off, revealing a bit of the background color, which I think is very cool. And because they are not exactly the same as the waxes with the metallic effect, you may have a bit of the background color showing once you wipe it, because there's pigment in it. That pigment may also stain your fingers, so be careful. This is especially true to the red and the brown. They have quite strong pigmentation. But just look how cool the effects may be if you're going to wipe it quickly. Okay, and then finally the brown. The brown is really aggressive color. So this is one of the ideas how you can use them in your projects. I will put them here on the side now so they can dry properly. And in the meantime, I will show you how you can use on the other surfaces. I got prepared, of course. So I've got some of the elements that have a little bit more of texture than the moon's head. So I've got wings, and I painted them with different mediums. This is painted with black gesso. This one is painted with white gesso, so you can see that. Then I've got wing, which is colored with Art Alchemy Metallic Wax. And I've got one wing, which is colored with Art Alchemy Metallic Paint. So this is acrylic paint. And I've got one wing, which is painted with Art Alchemy Liquid Acrylics, which is shiny, semi-transparent paint. So I want you to see how the colors are going to work on the top. So let's start maybe with the white gesso. White gesso would be good to apply some of the darker colors on the top. So maybe I will just try a little bit with the red rust. And just with my finger, I can very easily... Oh, that's some highlights. Okay, that was too much. I have to remove more. But I'm sure you can see what is happening. Let's add some of the brown on the top. So it's going to get some darker tones. And this way, very quickly, you can get antiquing effect. So this is one of the options. The second would be, of course, full coverage. So you take color on your brush and you go deeper in the colors on the gesso, just like we did before. This is the full coverage. And then if you want to, you can take off part of that color, and then from the tops it's going to remove the top of the wax. But remember, don't wait too long. When it is dry, it's permanent and waterproof. Okay, so that is on the white gesso. On the black gesso, let's try the color. This is going to be maybe green or blue, so you will see how it's going to cover on the color that is quite dark. Okay, so you can see with the blue and the green, we can get really quick and nice results. And of course, I could do the same thing as we did with the brush and then removing the excess. I can try here. Still, it's just a few minutes of the working time, so don't wait too long. It's better to apply it and then continue right away with the colors of your choice. Yep. So that is antiquing effect on the black gesso. I think it's really cool. Now let's try how is it going to work on the acrylic paints. Acrylic paints. This is a metallic acrylic paint. I picked the color which is called Rustic Brown. And I think Rustic Brown, we can try with something lighter. Let's see, with the white. Right? You can see white is giving you this nice, delicate touch of color. And of course, another good tip. you can mix these colors with each other, right? So if you think, this gray is too gray, I would like to have it very light, don't be afraid. Put these two colors together, like on the palette, and you can get medium gray, right? For example, like this, and then you can apply it to the project. So they work like paints as long as they are going to be wet. After drying, you can layer one color on the top of another. So I hope this is giving you some more inspiration to play. Let's add some of this new gray here on the project. Why not? So we tried the white one. Let's try on the liquid acrylics. This is very bright, so maybe we will try with something softer. Again, maybe a little bit of white color, just to tone it down a little bit. You can see application is super easy. And I'm sure the white one is going to be great add-on for those of you who are more on the shabby chic side of the mixed media, and you would like to use it for adding this nice velvety matte finish to something. Because this is giving you a lot of possibilities, right? So let's compare. This is acrylic paint and this is acrylic paint, but this was metallic, this was on the liquid acrylics. Finally, we've got the wax. So we are going to apply, wax on wax. And let's take, maybe this patina colors would be good for that part of the demo. So let's imagine this metal is going to get some aged look. I think it is very cool. And of course, it's no problem, you can add more than one color. And you can put more layers. The more dry it is, the more you can layer one on the top of another. If you'd like to get more of the saturation, just wait, let it dry a little bit, and then you can continue. Wax on wax. How cool is this? So we tried it on the gesso, we tried it on the acrylic paints, and we tried it on the wax. We can, of course, also try it on the top of the same kind of wax. We have here the moons. You can see what is going to happen. They should be dry enough now to play. So let's say maybe I would like to make this one a little bit darker with this charcoal color. As you can see, there's no problem at all to layer one on the top of another if you want to. You can mix one with another. Yep. And maybe we're going to add some green tones here to this black one. Charcoal black with green. No problems with application, and if you think this is not covering enough, it's probably I removed too much of the gesso, you just need to put thicker coat or wait and repeat. So they work with other waxes and they work with gesso and with acrylic paints. So what is important here, because they are waxes, they are not really happy to be used before the paint. So it's the same story with the metallic waxes. They are finishing product. They seal themselves, they are permanent, they don't need any varnishes. They will just act as a top coat by themselves. So this is the last product you usually want to put on your project. So this is important to remember that, and I hope you are going to have a lot of fun with them. So now I will just clean my hands and I will show you some of the finished effects with these waxes. So of course I prepared some projects to show you how they look after application. This is one of the projects that I made as a color swatch. This is combination of the acrylic paint and the green patina with tiny hint of the blue patina, these two together. And as you can see, it really works like the natural patinated look that happens on the metal. To compare, I have one which has more of the bluish tone in it. It's absolutely amazing. So you can see more into greens and turquoise, more into the blue. And I did the same thing. After application, I removed part of the wax with my fingers. So you can get look like that very easily with the matte waxes from Art Alchemy collection. Then let's have a look at this sample. This is black charcoal. I added a little bit of the background colors to make it more interesting. So there are some liquid acrylics and then a black charcoal wax on the top of the gessoed project. Very quick and very effective. Next project. This is example of red rust and brown rust colors. And again, a little bit of the background liquid acrylics, white gesso. And then we've got our matte wax doing the antiquing effect. You can rub off a little bit to highlight the details, and done very, very quickly. Finally, this is an example of the white wax. I picked blue and purple colors and I used them with a little bit of water for the background as well. After that, I applied my white, old white matte wax. And you can see how nicely the highlights work on the top of my composition. So just look at the possibilities. Finally, we've got project which is an example of the finished look. This is combination of the waxes. There was a bit of the background spraying. I wanted to have some color on my tissue paper, so there were some bits of dark red and some oranges, but all these colors here, all these details, they were waxed with these three colors of the wax: brown rust, red rust, and black charcoal. After that was dry, and after I removed part of it in some spaces, I used a bit of the traditional metallic wax, the one that you know well. So I was using aged brass on the top just to pretend all these elements are in fact metal. They are partly metal, this one is, but the other ones, they're mold elements or they're chipboards, and they really look like metal pieces on my journal cover at the moment. So absolutely cool effect, something that those people who love grunge may want to try. So that is so easy to do, and I want to show you how you can do it by yourself, because making a project like that is very rewarding. And I got my sample ready. This is the one that I made already during the Facebook Live show, and we are going to use similar canvas, something that I pre-made, and we're going to play with the colors on the top. So I hope you are ready. So what I want to do, I want to play mostly with the black charcoal to add depth to the project and to create a feeling that there is a lot of shadow, a lot of grease or dirt in all these cracks of the project. And maybe I will introduce some other colors as well. And to make it a little bit more interesting, I will start with a tiny bit of the permanent paint before. So maybe let's get some colors that will be adding some life to the project, some shades of green. I'm taking liquid acrylics, so a bit of green and maybe a bit of blue and turquoise. Now I'm going to take water and water sprayer, because I want the colors to float and mix easily. And with a brush, I'm just going to apply the colors in some of the almost like random places. So some of the green and some of the darker green as well. Some turquoise. That's a good start, just playing with the colors to have some initial color palette. And water is going to take it into different parts of the canvas. As you can see, playing this way is very easy, and it's kind of great exercise if you are not able to let go the control over the project, because it's hard to predict where the paint are going to go. In the background there is a bit of stenciling I did with one of my new stencils. And now, before I'm going to apply the waxes, I will just dry it with the heat gun, and the paint is going to turn completely permanent, so I can rub it without any fear that something will come off. Canvas is dry. I've got really lovely background, all that with just a bit of acrylics and water. So the liquid acrylics give you really strong colors, they're very strong. And now I can start applying my antiquing waxes. I will start with the charcoal black, and I will try to go as deep as possible into my project. And because it's really hot down on the canvas still, I used my heat gun a lot. You can see it's almost like melting, but no worries, it's going to get better. So remember about not very long working time. That's why, especially on the canvas, I will try to wipe it and blend it in before it is going to be too late. And I'm going to wipe it off from some of the details that I would like to see. For example, top of the star. You can see what I'm doing? Yeah. So let me continue. Let's go here into this big hog. And I will take a smaller, very old brush if I want to get later with into some details. But now I'm really tempted to introduce another color, and I think I'm going to go with a bit of blue. So I'm going to add some of the blue antiquing wax as well. Matte waxes are going to be completely permanent after drying, so there is no worry that something will rub off when you are going to touch it. Kind of naturally, maybe some green as well in some parts of that background. So I'm rubbing everything with my baby wipe and my finger, and because I've got white gesso under, I can reveal part of the details, the very, very tops of my elements if I want to, and then the wax stays only in the bottom parts of the project, which I think is very, very cool. What I can do now, I can go deeper in the parts that I missed with the big brush, so there will be no annoying spots, and I will add more shadow. Remember to use very old brush that you are not going to use for painting anymore. It's good to have some of these at home, just in case if you're going to have some glue or some wax to put in the selected places. This is how it looks after waxing. Now we can work a little bit on the highlights. One of the options would be using the white wax, maybe a little bit on the face. We'll make it lighter. Maybe on the wing. on the tops. It's a very subtle effect. You don't really need to put a lot to highlight, and you can feel with your finger exactly where you want to go. And if you feel that this color palette is too boring, you can try adding some contrasting colors, of course. There's no problem if you would like to break it with some browns or with some reds. It will be really cool. But my plan is also to add some highlights, and I think I'm going to use a tiny bit of the metallic wax. This is vintage gold. This is too yellow. Maybe some old silver, or maybe white gold would be probably the best solution if I can find it. Yeah, it's here. Oh, perfect. So maybe just in some mechanical parts. For example, like this. So there are many options of finishing that. You can work with whatever you like. I think I'm going to add more white. And remember, these are permanent, so once they are dry, you can put more layers on the top and play a little bit more with what you like. I hope this video is going to help you to understand the matte waxes and the combinations you can get with them. I think they're really inspiring, and I'm so excited to have them finally as a part of my line of Art Alchemy waxes. These are really adding something completely new to the range. This is the look that you couldn't get with anything else, and it's something that it's adding extra depth and this grungy, antique feeling to your old project. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell to make sure you won't miss any videos, and stay tuned because there's more video coming soon. Thank you. It is Finnabair from my studio, and I wish you a wonderful creative time.